Hey everybody, Questwise here, and today we're going to continue our Rifts Explorer's Guide series, and today we're going to be talking about the ruins of old Chicago. Now, if any of you are Rifts fans, you've played before, you know that Chi-Town is the like seat of the Coalition, right? This is the place where the Coalition, this evil sort of overarching humanistic empire, has its seat of power. And while it's in the area of where Chicago once stood, it is actually just a little bit southwest, I believe, of where Chicago sits in our modern day world. Now, modern day, 21st century, Chicago, even if you're looking at things like Chaos Earth, Chicago is a seat to some of beauty and medical technology and infrastructure and hope and art, and to others, Chicago is a place of depravity and violence and bad things. I'm a weird. I have a weird love-hate relationship with Chicago. I've been there. It's beautiful on one end, but terrifying on another. So after the coming of the Rifts, when we walk into the Chaos Earth role-playing game, and that era, that time period when all hell breaks loose on Earth, Chicago is destroyed. And now, when we pass through the Dark Ages and enter into the Rifts realm, the ruins of old Chicago still lay where they're at. And the Coalition, having built Chi-Town just to the side of that, constantly are patrolling the area and are terrified of the place, of old Chicago. And in such a way that it's almost become a taboo to actually even go there or to touch it or let anybody enter it, or to even level the place and start over. It is believed to be haunted. It is believed to be filled with monsters and demons, maybe even powerful magic users. There's such a taboo around old Chicago that, you know, the nexus of ley lines and there's powerful rifts that are opening and closing, and the Coalition is constantly on guard against whatever might be pouring out of there, whether it be an invading army or it be just some massive demon horde or something even more terrifying. Maybe a god steps through and resides there. But there's a lot of crazy things about the ruins of old Chicago, from its once sort of glorious days in the 21st century to this sort of broken and haunted and ruined land. What I really love about the ruins of old Chicago is it gives you a chance in game to do some really cool campaign adventuring ideas. Things like sending your characters in there to explore to see if there's anything worth salvaging, if there's technology that's left over, or there's magic to be learned, or whatever it happens to be, whatever you can create with your imagination to pull your characters in to the ruins of old Chicago. I think it makes a very cool sort of like decrepit but urban sort of environment. And what's interesting about it is because it's been sort of left in ruins of its own or old original state, you could actually use your knowledge, if you have any, of modern day Chicago and add those things to the game as well too. You could bring in the fact that it sits right on the coast of Lake Michigan as some kind of a factor of maybe of arriving there via ship or something. You could pull in the Willis Tower, which used to be known as the Sears Tower, one of the tallest buildings in the modern day in the world, and you could use that as sort of an adventure of this, what's left of the tower sort of sticking up like a broken, finger out of the center of the city. The zoo. I mean, there's all sorts of possibilities of things that you can sort of pull from what you know of modern day Chicago and place into this thing, and then add riffs to it, right? Add cool, crazy, demonic beings or powerful magic users, or maybe it's just that. Maybe it's just the rumor of Old Chicago being haunted that keeps the coalition at bay or keeps them wary of the area. And really, there's somewhere in there a haven of people that are trying to survive, hidden from the horrors of the world and the oppression of the coalition itself. Now, the Rifts, in the Rifts core book itself, it does talk about how the coalition patrols it daily, the ruins of Old Chicago, and how they've sort of put up a lot of defenses against anything that might be living there and whatnot, but could be used as a cool way for the characters to sort of like either strike at the coalition or hide from them, or even discovering new things and cool adventures. And I think that Chicago and the ruins thereof are large enough that you could create some very long-term running, even a full campaign maybe, set in just the ruins of Old Chicago, as it were, as well too. So that's our next stop on the Rifts Explorer's Guide series, is the ruins of Old Chicago. Next time we're going to be talking about Chi-Town itself and the seat of the coalition power, and running games in that as well too. That's going to be a little bit of a longer video because there's a lot to dive into there with the Chi-Town and Chi-Town burbs and the coalition itself, and how all those people live commingling together and stuff as well too. So until next time, I'm Questwise, and we're out.